It's about 4 p.m. West Coast time on Thursday. I just read a couple of news reports that founding Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley has passed away at the age of 74 after an illness. And love him or hate him, you can't deny the impact that Kiss had on music and rock and roll and concerts and shows and putting on a show for their audience every time they played live. Kiss was the first real concert that I went to. You know, the first rock concert in an arena, 1977, Riverfront Coliseum, on the Love Gun tour. I was 9. My brother was 8. And, then I learned years later that when Rush was getting started out, 74, 75, they toured as the opening act for Kiss on several tours. And they learned how to put on a live show from Kiss. They learned how to give fans their money's worth. And I mean, that band has their influence and their reach and their longevity and their transmogrification into basically just a giant merchandising company. But, the first 7 or 8 years when they were just focused on churning out records and putting on good shows, man. That's when I was a fan. I first heard them in 1976, I think. I was about 8. A friend of mine in 3rd grade, his older brother had a copy of Kiss Destroyer. And I used to go over to his house and we would listen to that. And, listening to Kiss and seeing the photos of Kiss from Kiss Alive, which was the first album I ever bought, their first live album, and seeing Peter Criss's drum set was one of the main inspirations for me in wanting to become a drummer. They became a global phenomenon, and Ace Frehley was an integral part of that, with his flaming guitar that had a smoke bomb in it that he would set off when he did his solo during their live performances. It's just, end of an era, man. All 4 original members are no longer with us. But Ace Frehley, rest in peace, man.